Creativity and speculation. When does speculation become a profound insight? The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed a variety of conclusions that some would label as speculation. Recognizing this fact, the legend for the journey of exploration into our creativity for each of the discussion topics has a category labeled speculation, if the discussion topic can be seen as speculative in one way or another. By definition, the word speculation is about forming of a theory or a conjecture without firm evidence. It needs to be noted speculation is not fantasy or fiction. Fiction is related to and describes imaginary events and people. It is seen as something invented or untrue. Fictional literature is seen as fabricated and based upon the author's imagination. Short stories, novels, myth, legends, fairy tales are all considered fiction. The difference between fiction and nonfiction is seen as something that is fiction has an outcome of imagination or is imaginary, whereas something seen as nonfiction is totally based on fact or what we would call reality. Fiction stands in contrast to speculation in that speculation could be fiction if it is a theory or conjecture without evidence, but a true speculation is based upon evidence, but it is not firm. As the evidence firms up in whatever way necessary, the speculation becomes fact and maybe had only been a profound insight about something. As discussed on many of the RYUC and Beyond YouTube videos and on the RYUC websites, a truly original creative endeavor takes one into the unknown. It takes one beyond where mind has been, for mind only knows the past and what it has experienced. Any truly creative endeavor takes one into the unknown. Consequently, anything reported in a truly creative endeavor could be seen as speculation until verified by another or others. If the results are too far out from the conventional thinking, the reported results may even be viewed as fiction. If one thinks about it, any attempt at a truly original creative idea is a speculation as to what is possible. One does not know if something is impossible until they try it, but there exists some evidence that what is suggested to attempt to create is possible. Then, as one moves deeper into the area of the creative exploration of that idea, and one creates what they imagine or perceive, what was speculation becomes fact, and a new speculation arises as to what may be possible. One individual's speculation may be another individual's fiction or a third individual's profound insight of possibilities. It is here lies the issue. To create is to step into the unknown. Yet it is speculation, especially when based upon firm ideas that lead us forward in understanding. Consider a caveman standing on a cliff thinking, looking out at a bird, asking, "What if I had the ability to fly?" Obviously, to a caveman, most thinking of flying was fictional. What firm evidence at his time of existing could he find that maybe a human could fly? Actually, if he was Chinese, apparently kites were invented in China in the 5th century BCE. If he thought, "Can I make a kite big enough to carry me?" he went from fiction to speculation. Interestingly, it is reported in Western thought the first science fiction story written in 1608. Of course, it is realized fictional stories probably existed in every society since humans started telling stories. Of course, one can say, are not all of our creation stories fictional? That is, do we really understand how creation started? In any case, did the fiction-based stories include any form of science which existed before 1608? Most probably, for there are many stories told that were not seen as speculative or fiction, but did not have firm evidence. Many contain firm beliefs but not firm evidence. In any case, in 1608, if such a story was written about man flying, it would obviously be seen more fictional than speculation. Now a man standing on the same cliff in September 1793, thinking of the reported first balloon flight by the Montgolfier brothers at Versailles, France, would not be considered speculation to think of launching a balloon from that cliff. Rather, it was in looking at real possibilities. To the caveman, such a thought of a balloon flight in his world would be considered fictional. Here again, what evidence would he need to have made that thought of a balloon flight speculation? Similarly, if a man stood on the same cliff in 1793 and thought about a fixed-wing type flight, it would probably be considered fictional. Here again, was there any firm evidence that could make it speculative rather than fictional? In 1835, Edgar Allan Poe published a short story, The Unparalleled Adventures of One Hans Pfaall, in which a flight to the moon in a balloon was described. On one hand, obviously, science fiction, since the physics of balloons would not support such a flight. Yet, could it not be considered speculation at its best in thinking? If I can get a balloon high enough up in the atmosphere, there is the speculation, can I get it to the moon? What would I need to do that? Of course, Jules Verne's story, who lived in 1828 to 1905, published a variety of stories which included a trip to the moon. The thought of going to the moon was considered science fiction and not speculation. Yet in 1903, just before Jules Verne's death, the Wright brothers made the first fixed-wing heavier-than-air flight. Here do we see fiction turning into speculation, but Sir George Calais in 1953 designed a human-powered flying machine. Several gliders were developed in which humans could glide in the 1890s. In 1903, flight was now no longer speculation, but going to the moon was. However, if one in 1903 thought of an airplane being used in wars and biplanes making a transition to fixed-wing monoplanes, was still in the realm of speculation to most. But there were knowledgeable individuals looking at both the possibilities that airplanes used as war machines and even monoplanes. To these forward-looking individuals, thinking of war machines and monoplanes was not speculation, for such thinking was the stuff of experiments to see what did and did not work. Here again, when monoplanes became routine, it was initially speculative that there could be something like a jet. Yet, to the knowledgeable, jets were in the realm of possibility, if not speculations. But going to the moon was speculation. It was no longer fictional. Rather, it was more about thinking, what would I need to make this speculation possible? Then, in early 1950s, going to the moon moved from speculation into the realm of real possibility. The point in this discussion is that what is speculation may only be looking at far-off possibilities to an inquiring mind and may really be revealing deep insights. Then, to an informed mind, that which is speculation to the uninformed is seen as possible, if not probable, for the informed. So, too, many of the observations and conclusions from the exploration of our creativity. In exploring our creativity, many of the conclusions may be considered very speculative, fictional to some, as the caveman standing on the cliff dreaming of flying, but to others only speculation. We only need to remember the Greek mythology where the son Icarus of Delius, the inventor, perished by flying with wax wings too near to the sun. The technology may not have been there, but the idea was. Of course, the obvious solution was to find better wax. The journey of exploration into our creativity was in many ways analogous, moving from balloons to biplanes to monoplanes to jets and going to the moon, then looking at what is possible and moving beyond the moon. But any journey an individual takes into exploring their creativity is such a journey may seem like fiction or speculation. But such a journey is something not to be read about in books, and only so much can be found in books. The results are not fictional. Part of the journey requires that the only way to know is to do. The only way to see what is possible and turn speculation into fact is to take the journey and look to become a conscious creator. Now, it needs to be understood what is within the RYUC and Beyond recordings and all the RYUC writings are the experience and observations about our creativity and creative power of the author. In looking at the creative principles that do not depend on time or place and independent of what we believe, some of the conclusions may be seen as speculative relative to what the external world currently believes. That is, there is insufficient independent observation of others to confirm or deny the validity of what is said. Yet I have used the conclusions to expand my own awareness and creativity and the awareness of creativity of others. The recommendation here is, was, and always will be that you eat and digest all that you read or hear, including this material. Keep what serves you and discard the remainder, as you would any food that you eat. Additionally, it is recommended you do your own experiments and see what is true for you. We each are on a unique path with a unique subjective experience. This uniqueness does have an influence on what we experience and do not experience. Only you will be able to know what is true for you. Probably the main conclusion here is twofold. One is speculation becomes profound insights in the eye of the beholder when they have the minimum set of experiences to put all the pieces together. But to only speculate when pieces are missing and not experiment and look for those missing pieces, we will never move into making what appears to be possible into probable, if not inevitable and guaranteed. The second is that any of the discussion topics labeled as speculation, you may find them more fictional than speculation. They are listed as speculations in that my experiences provide what I feel is rather firm evidence. These are based upon my experiences, and for all of us, our interpretations are subjective. And these topics, eat and digest them and do your own experiments.